So, hello, welcome to Teach Me Tuesday for the last week of March. Can't believe this. March usually goes by at a snail's pace, and it really has flown. I don't know if it's the same for y'all, but I feel like it has. Um, so tonight's teaching or training is geared towards everyone because essentials and certifieds is that's this week. But basically anybody who needs to expand their network, which is every single person, should be hearing this. So that's why I put the link out on the Flavor group, and I'm going to record, which we're doing, and post that. So first of all, I want to focus a little bit on why we need to expand our network. A lot of people, when you first start, you have this amazing launch in your journey because all the people who love you and know you and trust you want to come support you, right? And then maybe it goes great after a couple parties and you possibly book some parties off of that launch party. And then like about 70 days and your sensational start 70 days is up. And then all of a sudden, boom. And it's like, where did everybody go? And it's because we have, as Kimberly Polita likes to put it, a bucket, but it's got holes in the bucket and it's constantly leaking. So we have this leaky bucket of customers, potential teamies, potential hostesses, and it's constantly leaking. And so we have to constantly be putting stuff in the top. That's the best analogy I know for it. So that's the one I use. Because even now, 15 years into my Scentsy journey almost, I think that looking at my customer list, which I track really well now, thanks to Leslie and Kimberly too. I looked at that list the other day and I tried to find anybody that was on that list when I first started. And there was nobody on it. And that list is probably people who have purchased from me in the last 6 months so far that I'm tracking. And that's because a lot of those people who started me in my business are now either on my team or either don't do Scentsy anymore, or they have another person who is also in my circle who's their Scentsy consultant. And that's just how it goes. It's sort of the evolution of the journey. So that's the reason that you have to keep putting people into the top. Now, if you are a person who works from home, who never goes anywhere, who doesn't have any kids, who doesn't have any outlet to the outside world, then you probably depend on social media for all of that, reaching out. And that's really hard. And the other thing about social media is it could go away any moment. We do not have control over Facebook or TikTok, which there's, that might happen. That's, it's out there that it might go away. So it's real stuff that is happening out there with social media. And a lot of people in our group and other groups depend a lot on social media for their business. And so for the purpose of this training, a lot of it is going to be non-social media. Now you can use social media for the different things that I'm going to talk about, but this is really talking about things that are going to maybe push you outside your comfort zone. But the great thing about the comfort zone is on the outside of that comfort zone is where you really grow and where you really find out where and what you could be. So, let's see, there's 2 ways to expand your network. One of them is pretty much all you. It's going to be you doing all the work, and it's going to be really time consuming and a lot of effort. And the other group of things that we're going to talk about are using other people to help you expand your market. Now that's where I like to spend my time the most because it's more efficient, right? But the 2 things don't have to be separate of each other. You can do a little of both. And if you come to me as your sponsor or your director or your superstar director and you say, Bonnie, oh my gosh, nobody is buying. I cannot sell. I cannot get active this month. I'm going to say, here's my list of things. Have you done every single one of them? Do not come back to me until you at least do one and check it off. And then you can tell me how it worked. So this list is going to be a gold mine, I think, for you. And if you need to go back and watch it and watch it and watch it, great. I got a lot of it from Kimberly Polita, but I'm not going to devote a lot of time to each one. We're going to dive into things that we want to talk about. So I want you to stop me and ask any questions that you want, and I'll just sort of run down the different kinds. Okay, so the first one is sort of like finding an event on Facebook or finding a group on Facebook. We've talked about this before, but outside of Facebook, there's things called meetup.com and events.com. Have you heard of them? If you have like a passion in life or a hobby or something that you really love to do, like play a sport, or if you have like a certain pet, there are groups out there for all these different things that are hobbies or things that you like to do. And you can go and you can do these meetups with people. Now, the purpose is not to go and like take your business card and hand them out. That's not what you do. You go and you meet people, you make the relationship with people, you build the relationship, and then act like a connector. So you might meet X person over here who does XYZ, and this person over here in a different group that does ABC, and ABC needs somebody that does XYZ, and then you connect them, and then you're like the hero, right? So that's like one of the best ways in any circle that you're in, to find people that could use something that the other person you meet or the other person you know has or can do for them. It's a great way to be a friend connector. And that's just starts the conversation, starts the relationship going. Okay, next one. And if you need a list of things that maybe that you liked before kids or before work or before, like, dig down deep and go back to like pictures of you 20 years ago and see what you liked back then. Not you, Leslie, maybe last week. And see what you enjoyed doing. Like, look at those pictures and say, oh my gosh, I used to scrapbook. Okay, I'm not going to go a scrapbooking group. I'm not. I promise, Allie, promise. But maybe it's like your new dogs, Billy Joe. Maybe you find people that have labs and a group that wants to do a play date or something with labs. So I'm not going to spend too much time, but you see where I'm going there, right? Okay, next up, we're gonna Facebook events. I already talked about. Participate in an event or a show like Rihanna's doing. That's a great way to get your name out there. That's a great way to meet new people. And really, when you go, like when you book a show or an event, don't focus on how many sales you get, because sometimes people are not there to buy, especially if it's not like a shopping event, if it's just like a art show or whatever. Go with the intention of making connections with people and getting people's contact information, and then forming that connection maybe on social media further. And then maybe they become a hostess, maybe they become, a customer down the road, or maybe they become just a referral for you. Next, Facebook Marketplace. Okay, how many of you are like, oh my gosh, Facebook Marketplace, we can't be on there? We can be on there. We can be on Facebook Marketplace, but there are certain rules that we have to follow with Facebook Marketplace. And one of the best ways to be on Facebook Marketplace, besides selling on Facebook Marketplace, is to offer free info packets or free samples. Now, free samples gets a little dicey sometimes, but when you offer info packets, it could be just something like your Happy Mail that you send out, but make it personal. Usually I send out like a scent circle, a product sheet, and one of my little things that I send with all my stickers on the back, but it has my picture on it, my contact information, and how to join and how to host. So make something that's personal that you can send to people. This will be important, not just for Facebook Marketplace, but also for a couple others in the future that I'm going to
I have a question. I have a question about that thing you just showed.
Uh-huh.
The one with the stickers.
Yeah,
Did you do that on Canva?
I did. And it is a template that is in the Slack. I almost said it. The Slack group under Canva templates. I'm pretty sure it's in there. And if not, I'll post it in there after this, but it's definitely somewhere in the Facebook group.
Okay.
And it might be called just spring summer favorites or something like that. But I'll go look and make sure. If you don't hear from me tonight after the call, Rihanna, and it's not there, just message me.
Okay.
Okay. So marketplace. So make sure if you're going to sell on marketplace that you have it can only be current stuff, and it has to have a link directly to that product on your website. And all sales have to be done either in private message or through your website. I wanted to make sure I said that because I did mention Facebook Marketplace, but there's a whole training on using Facebook Marketplace in your business and how to do it within compliance. Next, an open house. So I don't know how many of you have moved in your business or are in a brand new neighborhood or a brand new place since you started your business. But an open house is a great way to meet your neighbors and to let them know that you have a Scentsy consultant in your neighborhood. So maybe you have a neighborhood group on Facebook, or you can put it in the community center on the board to invite people. That's two ways. But if you don't get anybody to come from the neighborhood, nobody new, maybe you just send out a link, a Jotform link or a Google Forms link, asking them if they want a catalog from you, because maybe they don't want to come to your house because you're new and they don't know you yet. But if you offer a catalog to anybody who can't come but wants one, then you get their information, their email, their address, their text number, and then you go and deliver that catalog face to face with them. And then you make that connection, and then you have their information. You can call and check on them or text them and check on them. So even if they don't come, make it a way that they can get in touch with you and you can give them something in return. Does that make sense? Okay. Next. I know I'm talking to essentials and certifieds, but some essentials and certifieds want to grow. Some people have said, no, I don't want to grow, but if I can just push you a little bit to say, I want to get to lead at least, then once you are lead consultant and paid at lead consultant, Scentsy gives you this amazing gift. They put you on the consultant locator. And when somebody goes to Scentsy.com and puts in their zip code, all these people in the consultant locator pop up. And that's like Scentsy just saying, here, have these customers right here. They're new. They don't have a consultant. You can have them. So you have to get to lead consultant, and we can talk about that at another time, but definitely if you're curious about that, let your sponsor or your director know, and we can sort of help coach you to get there. Okay. Business page. On Facebook, we're going back to social media for a second. So most people have a profile, which is just your regular Facebook profile. A lot of people have a VIP group or whatever you call the group for your customers. But do you have a business page? Leslie does, because she just did a training on it last week. And if you haven't seen it, she'll share the link, I'm sure. But business pages are Googleable. I know that's not a word, but I made it up. If somebody is looking for you or for a Scentsy consultant, your Facebook business page, because it's public and it's a business page, it's supposed to be businessy stuff, Scentsy is your business, then you're allowed to post in there all the time about Scentsy. Nobody cares if you don't post like your kids or whatever. I will say, if you post pictures of your kids on your business page, it will up the algorithm in there, because that's what happened to me last week. But a business page on Facebook. And if you need training on that, there's lots of people out there that are awesome at it. Kimberly Polita is one of them. Leslie Smith just did one on staying consistent in your business page and how to schedule posts. And there's lots of others out there as well. So make sure you have a business page on Facebook to reach new people. Okay. One of my favorites, and I'm giving away a secret right now. Google My Business. Do you know this? Do you know what it is? You know, when you want to find a restaurant near you that does takeout of pizza, you say pizza delivery near me or something like that on Google. So if somebody, like a customer that doesn't have a consultant yet, goes onto Google and says Scentsy near me, what comes up? Well, I did that today. I went in and typed it in, and only 5 people popped up in all of Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Tarpon Springs and Pasco. And none of them were on my team. Y'all, you're missing out. I get a ton of new customers from Google My Business. It's totally free. Just go on to Google and type Google My Business, and it will help you set up a very easy Google site. And so what happens is when you Google something near me, it pops up this map, right? And your location, I don't put my exact location, I just put my street. Just because I don't want people knocking on my door thinking I have a store here. But you can put as little or much information there. You put your website, and most of it is just to drive people to your website. It's not like people are going to come buy from you. But you can type in there whatever you want and then go get people to review your business there. We'll talk about that in a second. YouTube and Google are owned by the same people. And so if somebody Googles Scentsy consultant near me and you have a YouTube channel and you have a Google My Business, your videos will pop up in that search too. So if you are videoing smells, first sniffs, unboxings, anything that's customer facing, then those videos are going to pop up, and then people are going to connect with you even better, because video is where your personality lies. It's where people can look at you and say, hey, I like her. And as Kimberly says, even if you think 100 people out there are doing a video on the whiff box of the month, people might see yours and say, I like her. I really like her. I'm going to buy from her. And they may be looking at other people going, nah, I don't connect with her. So don't let it stop you from doing a video. If you want to do a video, do a video. All right, let's change directions and have some people help us out, because this is where people who have full-time jobs, Scentsy's their side hustle, have trouble with time blocking or finding time in the day to work their Scentsy business. This is where the networking can really help you. Okay, the first 2 things are very obvious. We talk about them all the time, so I'm not going to go into depth. The first one is parties. Parties will always be your one way of finding new people and not having to work for it. I mean, not having to go out and search for them. And referrals, because your customers are handing you these customers that might be interested in your stuff. So always think of every single person you meet as a potential customer, host, team member, or referral. Everyone is one of those 4. Everyone you meet. Okay, so these are things that I haven't tried yet, and I'm really interested in trying. Number 1, churches. Doesn't matter what denomination, what religion, what affiliation, what non-affiliation you have with a religion, churches are a great way to find people that you wouldn't find otherwise. So we have like 5 or 6 warmers that are religious affiliated, right? Trust in Him, Amazing Grace. I can't even think of them all, but there's a lot of them, right? Use your host rewards that you're probably buying stuff you don't need with right now. Use your host rewards and get one of those for free or half price. Go set up a party link in your website, and say something like possible church fundraiser. Okay, just so you know what it is. Go into a church during its open hours, go into the office and say, oh, and frame a little frame with a QR code to that link. That's what I was missing. Okay. QR code with, what is it supposed to say? This is Kimberly's idea, so I'm telling you what she says. Love this warmer, grab it here, and then put the QR code. Okay. So you talk to the office manager or you talk to whoever's in charge and you say, hey, I have a fragrance home business and I thought you and your church might love congregation. That's what I was looking for. Might love this warmer. I was wondering if I could set it up. And then if anybody scans and buys one of these, then all the proceeds will go back to your church. And they'll be like, you're giving us money? Okay. And just set up a time frame. Say, can I come back and can I leave it here for 2 weeks and, see how it goes? And then they might have questions about what it is. Maybe they already know what Scentsy is. But that's one avenue that they're working for you, right? They're letting you just put it there and you come back in 2 weeks. And then right after they say yes, you go out to your car and you change the or the party name to blankety blank church fundraiser or whatever, just so that people know that that's where they're shopping. Okay, the number 2, car salespeople. So I have a plan for this one. I haven't started it yet, but I have a plan for this one. Car salespeople, if you go into any dealership, people are going to flock to you, right? Because they don't let you just walk in. So you go into a car dealership and you ask for a sales manager or a manager of some sort, and you tell them that you own a home fragrance company and that you would love to talk to somebody that might want to give these and show them either mini fans and pods, car bars, scent circles. You could maybe show them all 3. I have things for the car that would make great, not closing gifts. What are they called? Thank you gifts. When a car salesman sells, I don't know any car salesman. That's why I don't know the name, but like a thank you gift when they close the deal. So that is a great way to do it. I think Carrie does it with a car, either a mechanic or somebody that details cars. I think she has a customer that's one of those. And then they just keep coming back to you to get refills of all the things that they need. Realtors. We all know about realtors. Realtor baskets are gorgeous, closing baskets. But the thing that I love is just talking to realtors about using them for showings or for open houses, because you could put the wall fans in the wall and there's no mess. The instant fragrance, there's nothing to clean up or nothing to let get hard before you take the warmer away. You just plug it in and go. And if you can get them to purchase them and do it every single time they have a showing, then they'll just keep buying pods, right? Apartment complexes. So most apartment complexes for new renters, they give like a welcome packet, and most of those welcome packets are full of like coupons and things like Val packs and things like that. This info packet that you have going on, whatever you're going to put in it, you make however many they say they'll take for their welcome packets. Just go in and say, I have my own home fragrance business and it doesn't have any soot, no smoke, no flame. And they're going to go sign me up, because their apartment complex is, one catches fire and that's the end, right? So they do not like flame. They don't like candles. So if you can get into an apartment complex or a condo complex or anything like that, that's a great thing. Just ask them how many new tenants they usually have every month, and then bring them back that many welcome packets and they'll stuff them for you into their packets. You can also, if they say no, you could say, do you have a model home? And if they do, you could then say, could I put this wall fan in there, like right in the hallway, the front hallway? And if you do, then ask if you can put some business cards with them. There's a couple different ways you can go with the apartment complex. Uber and Lyft drivers. This I've done lots of times. I've never gotten anybody to keep my business cards, but basically the premise is you get them to put a car bar or a scent circle in their car, because they're coming in contact with tons of new people every day, right? And you say, let me give you a few business cards. And if anyone that you carry likes the scent or likes the fragrance or wonders what it is, you can give them my business card and have them text me. So that's a really easy one. home cleaning businesses, hint, hint, Ashley Cruz. I'm just kidding. My housekeeper was here today actually, and she is a really good friend of mine. She joined my team at one point, and she was an amazing Scentsy consultant because she uses all the cleaner, but she has an assistant, and her assistant loves our dish soap. And I told her today that they were discontinued, and she bought 4 of them because she takes them in her bag and she will only use our dish soap at houses. Get them to use our Scentsy cleaners. I mean, I asked this morning if anybody had a video of them cleaning their bathrooms with the bathroom cleaner, because I need that. I wanted to show Judy. But if you do have fun, let me know. So get a housekeeper that has their own personal business, not one that works for a big company that has to use the specific cleaners, but get them to at least use our counter clean or our dish soap or something like that. And then maybe you can even get into a niche like Airbnbs or people who clean for short-term rentals. And then if the hosts really like how the house smells after, or the Airbnb smells, then maybe they start using. And all of these people are potential team members too, because you're sort of not using them, but they're helping you spread your Scentsy love everywhere. And so they're sort of a junior assistant. And the last one, lead boxes. We used to call them, what do we call them? Drawing boxes or whatever. And they were actually cardboard boxes that you had a little pad beside, and they would have to fill out their name and address and all this stuff and put it in for a drawing. I used to have one at every vendor show that I did. A lot of times nowadays when people are sitting in a waiting room, because we used to put them in like doctor's offices, salons, anywhere you have to wait for something, like a nail salon, a groomer, I had one just on the tip of my tongue. Oh, a vet, any kind of doctor. So those boxes were great when people weren't so hurried and they didn't want to take the time. Some people will still fill out a form, but what's even better is just a sign, sort of like back at the church. You just put a sign up and say, I'm giving away 100 samples this month. I'd love to put you in a drawing for some of them. And scan this code to be entered in my drawing. And then they scan the code. It's that same drop form that you use. And they give your name, phone number, email address, and maybe what kind of scent they like. And that's it. Just make it really short and simple. And then you have all of these leads that have asked for information, but they've given you the information so that you can contact them. And then really do a drawing, like do a drawing and contact them, but contact every single one of them and say, hey, I have a sample for you. And I was wondering if this one would be the best, or which one would you like, and give them 2 choices or something like that, just to start the conversation rolling. So that's one of my favorites, because I haven't done a lead box in a long time, but I used to use them, like the actual boxes. So I think I'm going to start with that one, with a frame with the QR code, and I'm going to try to think of somewhere to put it. But that's what I'm going to do. Now, last question. Of all the ones that I've said, I want you to, if you wrote them down, I want you to circle the ones you want to do. And I want you to either comment in the chat box or raise your hand or unmute yourself or whatever, and tell us one that you are going to try this week, or at least put into motion. Anyone? Leslie?
I am definitely going to be reaching out to my realtor friends, because I know way too many that I'm not utilizing, and just throw out all the ideas,
Awesome.
like all of them. And Sully goes to a church-based preschool, and I'm totally going to bring, well, I got to order the warmers first, but I'm going to do that for sure. So can well, I wanted to share what I'm doing for Natty School, but
Yes.
it's not what you mentioned, so I can do that at the end if you want me to.
Yeah, I just want anybody that wants to share what they're gonna try
Okay.
out of those 18 or so that I just shared,
Mhm.
if they're gonna try one to get outside of your circle. You can write it in the chat if you want. Ashley, you want?
Yep. So I do not utilize my cleaning clients the way that I should. I've said it for months that I'm gonna start like leaving a little goodie bag,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't. So I definitely need to do that. And same thing Leslie said, like I have so many realtor friends and I
Mhm.
don't really utilize them either. So
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I did one realtor basket and I promoted it. I made a reel out of it, but I'm not like messaging them saying, "Hey, I can offer you this. Can we work together?" And I need to be. Like
Mhm.
it's just I don't know, you know.
Love it. Caitlin, I
Mention-
love it.
I mention realtor baskets every time I see my neighbors, and yeah, the lady that one of the ladies that I sit with, both of her daughters are realtors, and I mention it to them every time, and they're just not biting.
Move on to the next. Go
I
on to the
think,
next.
Rihanna, one thing that I'm gonna do is, and I did it, like I think if you just maybe make it easy for them, like all they have to do is say, I need this, and
Uh-huh.
you have it done. Like
Uh-huh.
maybe show one that you did.
Okay.
And I don't know, that's because the girl that I made a basket for a closing gift, she's just said, I gave her a box of samples and everything to test, and I think it just overwhelmed her
Mhm.
because she didn't know what to pick because she was shopping for somebody else
Mhm.
as opposed for herself. So she said, "Oh, my client loves like crystals and she has pets," and I'm like, "Done. That say no more. Done." And she said, I'm going to spend $75. I got her the crystal ice warmer, 3 bars, the pets bundle, and I threw in a bunch of samples. And Ryan put in a gift certificate for Game Street Pies. So,
Nice.
and
That's pretty. That's
you
awesome.
know, and she loved it. So I think just taking the pressure off of them and saying like, "Tell me what you want to spend. Tell
Mhm.
me about your clients, and
Mhm.
I'll do the rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell me when you need it by."
All right.
I love it.
So, because it can be overwhelming. They're dealing with so much stuff I cannot even process what realtors go through.
I
Mhm.
know.
But like, I'm going to try the whole thing. Like, hey, use this. Here's an open house kit.
Right.
Like, try it and tell me what you think. Because the first thing people notice, I remember when we were house hunting, so many of those houses smelled horrible. This house smelled like curry. Like I remember what our house smelled like when we came in toward it. And I mean, that didn't stop me. I still wanted to buy it. But can you imagine how much better people would feel going into an open house smelling
Mhm.
everything if it smells good? So
Yep.
I think we just gotta remind people of that.
And yeah,
So
I like what you said. Make it easy for them. Don't make them pick a ton of stuff like that
yeah,
closing basket
yeah,
form that some people pass around. I think that's too much and too overwhelming.
yeah.
Mhm.
And just say, tell me maybe your client loves football and what's their favorite
What team?
NHL team? You
Mhm.
know, just do they have kids? Let's throw in some buddies.
So
So
Caitlin said she started a new job. She's going to be making up some business advertising cards and samples for her coworkers. And we did not talk about that one, but it's sort of like we talked about moving into a new neighborhood. If you're moving into a new job, it's like fresh meat. Not really. That's not what I mean, but that's sort of how I feel. It's like,
Yes, it is.
hey, new people, new people. So I love that one. All right, Jess, I made a Google page 2 weeks ago, no hits, but I asked for my customers to leave reviews. I work at a dealership. I'm going to chat with the salespeople. Yes, get in there. Yes, that's awesome. I love it. Beanie, I'm going to reach out to my realtor friend who's good friends with a car salesman. Perfect. Connect the two. Connect the two. And Scentsy is the connection. I think I'm going to reach out to my realtor friends. Perfect. I love it. Anybody else?
So I made a Google page,
Yeah.
but for some reason it wants me to give my exact location, and I'm not okay with that.
Really?
Like I wanted to just do like the street address. I don't want to give my house address. So I'm going to go back on there and play with it
Yeah.
some more. And then I'm going to do a business page. I've been saying I'm going to do a business page. I'm going to do a business
You're
page.
gonna.
Yeah. And I'm
You're
going to
gonna.
watch Leslie's training.
And I want to mention, when you get in there, business pages and Google pages are very low conversion. Meaning you're going to post and you're going to post and you're going to post and you're going to see maybe one person likes it or one person comments if you're lucky. Don't get discouraged at all. It is meant to be an advertising hand, right? So
Mhm.
Facebook is looking for you to advertise. Advertisements are not a bad idea, but you need to either take a course in it, get somebody who knows what they're doing to coach you through it. And lead ads are the best ones to do because they're going to get you new people who are interested in your stuff.
Okay.
And also like pick a day of the week, like for the Google My Business page, and just post once like a week or once every other week or something.
Okay.
It sounds like the parties I just had. Oh, did they not go well, Beanie? I thought they went well. Your PRV's great. I thought you were killing it in those parties.
PRV was really good. I'm very happy with it, but
Good.
there was no interaction at all.
Well, you
I-
know, some people just, I don't know, they just know what they want. They just gonna go get it and they're gonna peace out,
But I-
brother.
But I put a lot of them on the spot and they did respond after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Don't
Yeah,
like something and not comment.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
make
yeah.
you
All day long.
Yep.
It'll be the first thing, the first day it's open and everybody like ding, 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 all these orders, and then they're gone. They leave the party. I never see them again.
That's okay. Just leave me with your PRV. I'm good.
Right.
Mhm.
Anybody else want to share anything before Leslie shares her thing she's doing? Okay, Leslie.
Sorry, I'm making samples. Okay, so I'm on the PTO board at my daughter's school, and we met last week for our monthly meeting. And I've been wanting to do this, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. And I proposed it to them as a fundraiser, kind of for next year. And it's a back to school buddy clip fundraiser. And the way I'm going to do it is, like, of course, I'll put up, like, make everything marketing, but they're going to promote it over the summer and have people order, hopefully, and they're going to pick their orders up at orientation. So I know, right? I'm gonna have like my own little table set up and everything. And so I just made them like just this little flyer, nothing crazy. And I put Natty's backpack in there from, I think that was first grade. As I said, Natty uses these on her backpacks every year. And I told them how much I was going to be giving back to the school. And I brought like actual buddy clips in just so they could see it and touch it, smell it, obviously. And they loved it. They're like, yes, absolutely, let's do it. So go to a local elementary school and talk to the PTO president or whoever and just tell them that this is something you want to do and you want to give back to the school. Elementary schools, any school is constantly looking for any way to have money being brought in, you know? So, and especially if you say that you'll do all the work, all they have to do is like post it on their email list, their Facebook, their Instagram, you're good to go. So I was just so happy that they were so excited about it.
I
Like,
love that.
yay.
I'm so
There's
happy
like
it worked
over
out.
800 kids at Natty School. So pre-K through 5th grade.
So you're making it
And
easy and just sending one flyer home with the kid and with the link and the QR code.
well,
that
there
they
are
can
no
copy.
flyers because it's going to start in July because it's for next year because it's a back to school buddy clip fundraiser. because
Yeah,
it's almost the end of the year. They don't need it right now.
right.
So I want them to have it at the beginning of the year. So they're going to start it in July. I'm going to make a job form so that all they have to do is go on and select what they want. They can pay on the job form, and we're going to have a deadline, and I'm going to order them to have them ready to be handed out at orientation.
I love it.
So
Yay. So
Oh,
cool.
One thing I did when the new catalog came out, my friend's son that I take to school, he was telling me that one of his teachers has a warmer in the classroom. And I said, "Oh, here, let me give you this, and you can give it to her." I said, "Tell her I will have some samples for her tomorrow." So when I took him to school, I was armed with samples.
Nice. I love it. All
this
right.
another one that you didn't mention it, and I know if Carrie was here, she'd be preaching this, but wear Scentsy hat, t-shirt, somebody is going to notice and ask you about it. Like that happens to me at the gym all the time. And I got a new customer. She's like, "Oh my God, do you sell Scentsy?" I'm like, "Yes, I need all the Luna. I haven't found anybody since I moved from Texas." And give it as gifts as much
Yes.
as you possibly can. Like everybody that has anything coming up is
Yep.
getting Scentsy and Girl Scout cookies and Lucky Goat coffee from us
There you go.
as gifts. So just, and people love it,
Yep.
especially if they don't have to pay for it. So
Right.
You can put together a great, wedding season's coming up. So you can put together a great wedding gift
Mhm,
basket. I did that and hauled it all the way from here to North Carolina.
Nice.
And
that
there was something
nasty ass truck.
oh, and Christmas, everybody got Scentsy from me for Christmas.
Mhm.
So,
Y'all, Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up. So
Yes. I do one little thing every day.
yes.
I love it.
So yeah.
Okay. So y'all go out there, expand your circle, kill your PRV this month because we got that challenge going on.
I got
Yeah.
one more. I got one
Brianna,
more.
go
I
ahead.
got one more thing.
Do it.
Going back to wear Scentsy. If you use the washer whiffs, let me tell you, I hugged somebody one time and she said, "Oh, you smell so good. What are you wearing?" And I said, "Scentsy."
That's what I was going to say. Leslie and Rihanna just reminded me. When you're out there doing these things, make sure you have a plan. Make sure you're prepared. Make sure you have
Yes.
something to put into place when you start getting all of these leads that you're like, "Oh my God, I have all these customers." You need to be prepared to have a
Mhm.
system. I sort of twitch when I say system, but even I am getting like little systems that makes things much easier to funnel people in and add them to my email, add them to my customer list, add them to my follow-up, all of that. So make sure you have some type of follow-up system, some type of customer service that you can get them and it's not going to like overwhelm you. Okay. And be prepared when you're out there wearing Scentsy because people are going to ask you for stuff. So have something
Mhm.
card, scent circle, sample, whatever.
Right.
Mhm.
Never be Scentsy naked.
No, I learned that lesson this weekend.
Yep, you did.
Mhm.
Yeah, my
Uh-oh.
bad.
All right. I want to take a picture. I'm going to stop the recording.